have any doubt, you can ask me to stop and you can ask me to explain so that I can move bit faster. When you look at this MRA PSK, in MRA PSK, the phase of the carrier takes m different possible values. So in QPSK, what is the difference between an MRA PSK and the QPSK? In QPSK, the carrier takes 4 phases, whereas in MRA PSK, the carrier takes m possible values with amplitude fixed. As we know that PSK does not affect the carrier amplitude, it changes only the phase of the carrier. So therefore, in MRA PSK, the carrier takes m possible phases without changing in anything with respect to the amplitude. So in MRA PSK, when the signal is getting transmitted, the interval of any symbol will be fixed to t seconds. One of the m possible signals is transmitted. Within this particular t seconds, one possible m symbol, out of m symbols, any one symbol will be under transmission. And in MSK and this MSK, if you are MPSK, if you are considering, this is one of the another efficient scheme which will give the bandwidth efficiency, or which is going to reserve or which is going to save the bandwidth over the channel. So how this particular MRA PSK, let us see now. In MRA PSK, consider the binary data sequence is to be transmitted. So in MRA PSK, usually the data, if you go for PSK, ASK or QPSK, the data to be transmitted will be considered as binary, that is in the streams of zeros and ones. When any bit is considered, it will have the TB seconds as the duration, and if such binary data sequence, when we have to transmit, what is the data rate? It will be represented for such a data sequence or binary data sequence. We can note it as RB, that is bits per second. So what is this RB? How do we calculate RB? First let us discuss, and then we can go for the generation, then its signal space diagram, its analytical computations, and which are the equations supporting to this. All this we'll further discuss. Whenever we go for any data transmission in digital communication, it is in terms of bits. Whenever BPSK you are considering as the modulation scheme, then its bandwidth, what will be the duration of a bit? Bit duration will be TB seconds. So therefore bandwidth proportional to the BPSK is 1 by TB. Whereas if you go for an MRA PSK, the phase of the carrier takes m possible phase values. M is nothing but how do we calculate m? So I'll be telling. In MRA PSK, please do remember the carrier will have m possible phase values. So here m possible phase values for the carrier. And how these m possible carriers, m possible symbols, carriers we are choosing in an MRA PSK. The reason is that here we will be transmitting m symbols. So how do these m symbols we will be deriving? That is what m is. M is nothing but 2 to the power of k, where k represents the k binary data bit patterns. Means to say that k is the number of subsequent or successive bits you are going to group to form a symbol is termed to be the m array signaling. If suppose for example you take k as equal to 3, then 2 to the power of 3, that is how many number of symbols are possible? 8 symbols are possible with k as equal to 3 bits combination. In this case, each symbol duration is how many bits we are grouping? K bits we are grouping. So therefore each symbol's duration is confined to k into TB. Okay. Then what is the transmission bandwidth? Bandwidth, you know that it is proportional to 1 by TB. But now the symbol consists of k bits, so therefore bandwidth is equal to 1 by k TB. This k value, it is, how do we calculate? 2 to the power of k is equal to m, and if you take log on both sides, k will be equal to log 2 of m. So what is the bandwidth in case of M array PSK? That is equal to 1 by log of m with base 2 multiplied with TB. That is what the bandwidth in case of your M array PSK. So therefore, we can conclude that in M array PSK, the transmission bandwidth over the channel will get reduced by what factor? Log 2 of m or by k factor. So hence this is considered to be one of the most efficient signaling scheme, modulation signaling scheme towards the bandwidth efficiency. Now, the other details related to this M array PSK is that in M array PSK, carrier takes, already we know that m possible phases. How do we represent this m possible phases? That is represented as theta I, which is equal to twice I minus 1 into pi by m, where I is an integer value. It can take 1, 2, etc. Any value. Okay, so now if theta I is the angle that is considered for the carrier of an M array PSK, that theta, how it will get varied? It is 2 pi, that is 360 degrees. Completely it has been allocated in the signal space diagram for all the m possible symbols. So how it can be represented means theta I is equal to 2 into pi I minus 1 by pi. Accordingly, m possible signals, that is each signal of t is represented by, so Si of t. Now this is what, how the carrier angle will change or the phase will change in corresponding to m symbols in M array PSK. So therefore, how do you analytically represent this phase change of an modulating signal? It is represented through this equation 1. The equation 1, as usual, QPSK, how you have written? Si of t is equal to root of 2e by t cos of 2 pi fct plus what is theta I? Theta I is replacement of this complete value for an theta I, 2 pi by m into I minus 1. So you can call this as equation 1, where I represents 1 to m, where m is the number of symbols, where E is the energy of the signal, because what are the signals you are going to transmit? M signals you will be transmitting. Each signal will have a k bits, and so therefore E is the energy of the signal per symbol. Any symbol you take which consists of 3, 4 k bits, and whatever the complete signal which is holding the energy is represented as that symbol energy as E. And Fc, if you are considering, this is the center frequency of the carrier. So this center frequency, it will change. Fc is equal to Nc by T for some fixed integer Nc value. In BPSK, if you are considering, phase shift will be equal to. So in BPSK, what is M equal to? M is equal to 2 only. Number symbol 0 and symbol 1. So therefore 2 pi by 2. So that is 180 degrees. In QPSK, 4 symbols we are taking, 2 pi by 4. So each signal will have a phase shift of 90 degrees. So in MRA PSK, the same concept when it is applied, it is 2 pi by m. That is the reason why we are going for this 2 pi m. 2 pi by m as a factor along with associated with the signal modulated MRA QPSK or MRA PSK signal. Now, how do we construct the signal space diagram for this MRA PSK? Consider to represent this signal diagram or to construct the signal space diagram. Consider the equation 1. So using trigonometric properties like cos of A plus B and expanding this equation 1, you can see that cos terms and the sine terms you can see within this signal which is under transmission. And this particular signal strength will be within 0 to t, that is within the symbol duration. But beyond that symbol duration, if the signal strength is considered, that will be equal to 0. It is our entire procedure is similar to your QPSK as well as PSK. Only the change, how many number of symbols you will be transmitting per symbol is going to distinguish, and what is the phase shift that you will be choosing. So based on the equation 1 expansion using trigonometric function, we can make from equation 1 2 observations. What are those 2 observations? For this, let us consider that SI of t back, and you can take only that expression. And this expression you can re-represent in terms of basis functions, where this basis function phi m I have chosen that phi m, it is equivalent to this value 2 pi by m into I minus 1. So that is what we will be considering, because in both the terms you can see that in the analytical equation of 1, cos 2 pi by m I minus into I minus 1. Similarly, sin 2 pi by m into I minus 1. So this common term that I am replacing with phi m. If I further simplify equation 1, you can see that this is equal to root e cos pi m, and this is a carrier signal. I have rearranged, that's all, by substituting 2 pi by m into I minus 1 as phi m. And from this equation, simplified equation, you can see that 2 root of 2 by pi t cos 2 pi fct in the first half of the equation, and in the second half of the equation you can see that 2 by t sin 2 pi fct. So it is not a same carrier we are using here and here if you compare. So therefore the one carrier cos term I will represent through phi 1 of t, and the sine term I will represent as phi 2 of t. So here phi 1 of t, it is root of 2 by t cos 2 pi fct, and phi 2 of t is root of sine 2 pi fct. What are the observations? The first observation tells that the two orthonormal basis functions defines your MRA PSK. So hence 2 carriers are required in an MRA PSK. The observation 2, when phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t you are taking, they should be orthonormal to each other. Means there should be a 90 degrees phase shift between phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t. And since we have to satisfy both the orthogonal as well as orthonormal properties for the basis functions, we have to go for the phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t consideration again. So here phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t, since they are orthonormal to each other, so whenever a phi 1 of t and phi 2 of t are orthonormal, x axis one basis function and y axis another basis function, you have to represent. So therefore, when phi1 of t and phi2 of t are placed in like this, one with the vertical axis and the other one with the horizontal axis, the signal constellation diagram of MRA PSK, it leads to a two-dimensional signal space diagram. Hence, you can when a signal Si of t, it is transmitted, it will show on the signal space diagram with as a signal vector Si with the coordinates. What are the coordinates? If you go back and check the expression here, root of E cos phi m and root of E sin phi m. So therefore, coordinates alone, if it is considered, root E cos 2, this is phi m, right? Comma root of E sin phi m. So where m represents, it is, sorry, I represents the value 1, 2, etc. m. Now the next task is, because we know how many orthonormal functions orthonormal basis functions we need to consider, and how these orthonormal basis functions should appear in the signal space. So after analyzing through the analytical equation 1, now it is our duty to construct the signal space diagram. Whenever we are constructing the signal space diagram, let us be specific with m value as equal to 8. When m is 8, means to say that the number of symbols transmitted in MRA PSK is 8. So how many possible carriers for these m symbols in MRA 8 array PSK, it is m possible carrier phases will be chosen. And these m, since it is equal to 8, 2 to the power of k is equal to 8, and the number of bits per symbol, if it is considered, k will be equal to 3. So therefore, each symbol carries 3 successive bits per symbol. And all these 8 messages, they have to be equally spaced in two-dimensional diagram within this 360 degrees. So 360 degrees means it is a full circle having a radius of root E. What is the maximum amplitude? It is only the root E amplitude centered at origin 0. So this is how you can construct an 8 array QPSK. You can see, look at here now, M1, M2, M3, M4. Earlier in QPSK we had only 4 symbols, but now we have to accommodate 8 symbols. So therefore, equally they have to be spaced. When we are placing equally on the signal space diagram, M1 at the origin, M2, M3, M4, M5, M6, M7, M8. If the M1 to M2, if it is considered, it is M1 is one message point, okay, and M2 also another message point, whose signal vector, it is S1 for M1 and S2 for M2. Similarly for M3, S3, S4, S5 and so on. Okay, so this is how a signal space diagram you have to construct. Now the question arises, say for example symbol 1 has been transmitted, but when it is received at the receiving end, M2 has been estimated. Then what should be the decision boundary threshold voltage? All these we need to compute from this signal space diagram. So this signal space diagram or 8 array PSK, it is also termed to be the octa phase shift keying. Octa means 8 phases shift keying or modulation technique is your MRA PSK. If the decision boundary or decision to be made for between M1, M2 or M2, M3, M3, M4 or 5m6, the decision boundary between two signal vectors has to be fixed. So the calculation of the signal decision boundary distance is now the question how to do it. So for that, let us consider the 8 or octal phase shift keying two-dimensional space diagram. In this, M1 and M2 let us consider as the two message vectors. M1 has root E, M2 also has root E. But the decision boundary exactly half. So you can construct a right angle triangle between M1 and M2 with respect to the origin. So when a distance between 0 to M1 is considered, it is root E. Similarly, when an angle when considered between 0 decision boundary M1, so at this point this is equal to 90 degree, and suppose if the angle it is to be computed with respect to the decision boundary, that we need to show it as equal to 5/4. How that is equal to 5/4, let us discuss after discussing the power spectral density function of M-array PSK. What is power spectral density? It is the power spectra of an M-array PSK or QPSK or BPSK. In BPSK and QPSK, the BPSK and QPSK are the special cases of M-array PSK. In an M-array PSK is a general modulation technique. In that, BPSK means binary phase shift keying, QPSK quadrature phase shift keying. Those two schemes are the special schemes. In M-array PSK, symbol duration, how do we calculate? Duration of the symbol is equal to K into TB, where K is the number of input successive bits combined. So here there is no power spectral derivation you have to learn with M-array PSK. Just it is directly equal to the power spectral density function of an QPSK. So you can say this QPSK power spectral density, which is equal to 2E sin pi ft by pi ft whole square. That is a sinc function. Only the change between the QPSK and M-array PSK is that here T will be equal to K into TB. So you can substitute and you can reorganize the equation. It is 2EB log 2. K is nothing but log 2M sin square TB into F log 2M. That is a sinc function. You can represent this sinc function having an amplitude of this E, K. This is equal to K, EB into 2 as the amplitude sinc function. Sinc function, it is spreaded at F is equal to TB. So you can see that at TB, 2TB, 3TB, etc. the sinc function has the loops. The main power spectra of this particular QPSK, it is M-array PSK, it is lying in between minus F2 plus F minus F2 plus F. So therefore, how do you compute the bandwidth? The bandwidth of this particular QPSK, M-array PSK, it is from the spectra. The main lobe, it is spreaded between minus F2 plus F. So therefore, the bandwidth is equal to F minus of minus F. So how much it is equal to 2F. So 2F, F is nothing but the reciprocal of time duration. So if T is replaced with KTB, then what you can see, bandwidth is equal to 2 into 1 by TB is FB divided by K. So this is an equation number 2 in case of M-array PSK bandwidth. If this equation 2 is observed, from this equation 2, you can conclude that as the number of bits per symbol increases, the bandwidth start reducing it. Means the symbol bitrate you increase, the bandwidth associated with the channel automatically will get reduced. That is what the conclusion you can make from this bandwidth calculation. Difference between signal points. So why this Euclidean distance we are going to calculate? Because in MRA PSK, the probability of error when we have to compute the decision boundary or the threshold voltage is very important. So how do that threshold point will be calculating, or the decision boundary point we are going to fix between the two message points is with respect to the Euclidean distance computations. In binary phase shift keying and QPSK, the determination of distance between two neighboring points, as we have already seen in the signal space diagram, between M1 to M2 or M2 to M3, M3 to M4 or M4 to M5, any two subsequent message points distance, how can we compute? So why this distance is required? So the distance is very much important, or it is required to calculate the probability of error, because the probability of error, it depends on the decision boundary. The decision boundary M1 can be approximated to M2 provided the decision voltage or the decision distance or decision boundary value, if it is moving towards message point M2 compared to M1, then M1 can be estimated as symbol M2. So that is the reason why we go for this particular distance, Euclidean distance calculation from the signal space diagram. This is important because we will be using for the probability of error to compute. To find MRA PSK, Euclidean distance, from the Euclidean distance, consider MRA PSK with M is equal to 8. When M is equal to 8, all the message signals you have placed with an phase shift of 45 degrees, and all the 8 message points have been placed. Consider now any two reference message points. Let us be specific, M1 and M2. When M1 and M2 is considered, exactly that is at 45 degrees, but now the decision boundary you have to fix it. So for that, let us take the distance between M1 and M2 as D12. This is the Euclidean distance. This Euclidean distance decides whether M1 is approximated to M2 or M2 is approximated to M1, or M1 is approximated to M1 itself, M2 is approximated to M2 itself. That will be decided by this Euclidean distance. From the figure, how do we calculate this Euclidean distance is now we will be discussing. From this figure, the distance between M1 and M2 is denoted as D12. That is message 1 to message 2 distance is the Euclidean distance. From the figure, whatever we have written here for the signal space diagram of MRA PSK, distance M1 with A, how do you calculate? It is equal to distance between M2 to A. And if the Euclidean distance with respect to these two symbols with respect to the point A, if it is calculated exactly equal to D1 by 2, means this distance half between M1 to A and A to M2. So therefore, if you know the Euclidean distance, the distance between the right angles, two right angles, you can directly calculate. Okay, next. Okay, 1 minute. The distance M1 by A by distance OM1 is equal to, so we have to find out the angle between OM1 by OA. What is this equal to? This is, sorry, M1A. This is opposite to the hypotenuse OM1. What is this equal to? This is equal to sine pi by m. Sine function. So now opposite is d1 by 2. And what is the hypotenuse? Root e from the diagram. If it is calculated, that is sine pi by m. Our distance, if you are calculating d1 2, you can rewrite this as 2 root e. Only this expression we have rearranged, and this is what the distance, Euclidean distance, you can calculate between any two message points. We have taken here M1 and M2 as the two reference message points to find the Euclidean distance. It is left to you, the designer's choice. Between any two message points, the distance can be computed. Okay. Now, if you go for D12 is equal to, if M is equal to 8, then whatever the distance that you are going to calculate between 1 to 2, it is equal to 1 to 8, that is equal to 180 degrees by 8. So that will be your MRA QPSK signal space diagram. Now the question, it is how do the MRA PSK generation and the detection will be done. Okay, another 5 minutes I'll take the class and I'll wind up. Okay, the generation, MRA PSK generation and detection. If you look at here, MRA generation, PSK generation, you can see the transmitter blocks as follows. The binary bit stream B of T we are considering, and that we are, because in an MRA PSK, K bits we need to combine. So therefore, this binary stream given to serial to parallel converter. So this serial to parallel converter, it combines m number of K bits together. So those K bits I am representing as 0, 1, 2, etc. n minus 1. After this digital to analog converter, each symbol or each combination will get multiplied with a signal. So therefore, analog converter, we can say that it is M of T, or the line encoder we have used here. That will be given to an signal sinusoidal signal source and modulator, phase modulator, to change the phases. So that is the output what we'll be getting from this block is an MRA PSK signal. So the transmitter, it is in detail, it has been explained here. Serial to parallel converter forms symbols of K successive bits. The output of a serial to parallel converter is K bits wide width. The digital to analog converter remains unchanged until K bits is received. Based on K bits information, digital to analog converter generates M of T, that is line code. Okay, where M different amplitudes line code which is going to be generated. Any of that I'll take up when I try to solve the problems. This M of T is applied to an modulator. This modulator modulates the phase of the sinusoidal carrier depending upon the amplitude of the symbol M of T. So this is what your MRA PSK transmitter. So I'll discuss this MRA PSK receiver in the next class. So let me, and if I finish this MRA PSK, only the probability of error, that is also there is no derived. Okay, another 5 minutes I think I can finish it off. The receiver also for an MRA PSK. Here in MRA PSK, we will take the MRA modulated PSK signal, M different distinct symbols having M different phase shifts, that will give it to an raise input to mth power to remove that carrier, apply to an band pass filter, and divide it through and divide by M counter, frequency divider. If it is done all these, if the received signal when it is subjected to these many sub blocks, the output of this divide by M counter, what we'll be seeing is two carriers cos 2 pi FCT and sin 2 pi FCT generation. That generated signal directly it is given to the received signal to remove that carrier frequency. So therefore output will be S of t cos 2 pi FCT. Below is S of t sin 2 pi FCT. It is given to an integrator. The integrator with product modulator both together termed to be the correlator. And this MRA PSK receiver, from this block diagram you can say straight away that it is a coherent detection we are making use. And here after the correlator, the output what we'll be getting is even array and order. We'll be giving it to an analog to digital converter. This analog to digital converter, it takes these two signals and it will convert into an digital bit pattern, parallel pattern. But the output again of this ADC, it is given to an piezo and then it will convert it into a bit stream. The whole thing it has been explained here, and you can see received signal S of t is raised to mth power. Bandpass filter extracts the frequency component. Divide by m to obtain the carrier frequency. Is applied to two multipliers and two integrators, that is nothing but the correlator, and sampled at t seconds, given to analog to digital converter. The output of the digital converter, it is given to an parallel to serial converter, where it will convert incoming k bits into single bits. That is how the sequence it is going to be generated. The probability of error for this MRA PSK, in QPSK we know that P is equal to error function of root EB by N naught. Similar procedure, because here there is no qualitative analysis, it is only quantitative analysis for probability of error. You can straight away represent as 2q root of 2e by n naught sin pi by m is the probability of error for QPSK. So there are few problems which are solved for this QPSK as well as for MRA PSK. Please solve those problems. In the next class, I'll start with MRA quadrature amplitude, MRA QAM, quadrature amplitude modulation. In this chapter, we have left out as MRA QAM, non-coherent detection, then DPSK. So these three topics I have to finish, and then I have to go for ISI. Another 5 classes I'll be getting. So I think before your third IA, I can finish off the entire portion which I have planned for your second IA. Okay. Any doubts if you have, you can